My name is Dave Meldrum. I'm a Deputy Chief with Halifax Regional Fire and Emergency. It's 9 a.m. on May 29th. We're here in the community of Tantallon in the Halifax Regional Municipality for a briefing on an ongoing and still not under control wildfire. So I'll remind folks that our firefighters were called at about 3:30 in the afternoon on Sunday afternoon for the report of a fire in the Westwood subdivision here in the community of Tantallon. Our first arriving crews did discover a very large and fast-moving fire going through that subdivision. It in fact traveled so significantly that we quickly escalated through second, third, fourth, and fifth alarms, which is the first use of a fifth alarm that many of us can remember in this community. Yesterday, our firefighters worked very hard in very dangerous conditions. This fire moved generally northeast from the Westwood subdivision over towards the Hammonds Plains and Pockwalk roads. I'm happy to report that at this time there are no reports of missing persons nor of injuries. That's very good news. Less good news is there are numerous affected structures, some damaged and many destroyed in the Westwood subdivision, also in the vicinity of Hammonds Plains Road, particularly near Yankeetown Road, and there is some damage northward to the Pockwalk Road. Our firefighters and other partners worked hard to evacuate a large area of our city yesterday, and last night we remained on scene. We spot fires, extinguishing structures that were on fire, and preventing more structures from being lost wherever we could. Thanks to their work, this fire largely has been held from crossing the Hammonds Plains Road to the east, and it's been held from crossing the Pockwalk Road to the north. In addition, overnight our crews remained at the White Hill Seniors Care Facility to protect that facility and the people in it. I can also tell you that the Hammonds Plains Consolidated School is in good shape, no damage to that school structure. This morning we've recommenced operations. And before I leave, important, helping us in the Halifax Regional Municipality. We have fire departments from other communities such as West Hants, Unihack, Brooklyn, and others, Windsor. They're here. The Department of National Defense is here with 2 pump and roll units. It's all very, very important, very, very helpful. In addition, our RCMP and regional police partners are doing excellent work with security and evacuation that we simply couldn't do without them. Emergency Health Services here to protect our firefighters, all our responders, and our residents, and many, many others. Obviously, the Nova Scotia Department of Natural Resources and Renewables are here. They were here yesterday and deployed some air assets, and we met with them early this morning to form a unified command team to continue to work this fire. Today we have 30 plus HRFE fire apparatus working these fire zones in 2 main sectors. The DNNR crews are here and they have 2 helicopters in the air as we speak. And at 9 o'clock this morning, 2 air tankers who are originally based out of Newfoundland were set to take off and come and deliver water here on this fire. We are planning today to protect structures again. We understand that the wind direction is changing, so the wind is now from the north, which is going to make this fire move backwards from the direction it was burning yesterday. The Forest Fires technicians have looked at some drone footage that we put up, and they've analyzed that, and they're telling us that there could still be significant fire, even though the fire may turn around and go back the way it came. That was really fast, really hot fire yesterday. There's a lot of unburned fuel still in the areas that the fire went through that can reignite and can burn. So we have a lot of work to do today, this week, for many days. We appreciate the patience of the residents of the municipality, particularly those who have been evacuated. This is difficult, and residents must be prepared to remain out of their homes for several days at least to come.
Can you explain about what the wind is doing and more about like how that is going to be an obstacle today?
That's right. Forward? Sure. So yesterday the wind predominantly was pushing and moving this fire, as I said, approximately northeast. Last night it did change directions and it was coming out of the north, so bringing the fire basically back down towards where we're standing. So on the one hand, that can help prevent spread farther to the north, say the the areas around the Pockwalk Road. But it's going to push the smoke and embers and fire back in this direction. We need to make sure that no communities that weren't already affected by this fire become affected. In addition, we can't guarantee that the wind direction won't change one or more times today.
Can you confirm how the fire started?
No, the cause of the fire will be under investigation, and that investigation will be led by the Department of Natural Resources and Renewables.
Do you know roughly where the fire started?
Well, we were called to the Westwood subdivision near Junaberry Road for a fire, and there was certainly significant fire in that subdivision when we got there.
You mentioned one school was safe. Do you know whether any other major structures like schools, churches, anything like that have been affected by the fire?
We don't have any reports of major structures like that are damaged, but do appreciate right now the firefighters have been focusing on structural defense and going from one to the other. So we're still collecting the information. It's going to take us some time. But at this time, we don't have a report like that.
How and
Fires in
when?
the area, they're all a result of this one fire that started here?
Pardon me?
The fires that have all spread, are they the result of this one fire in Westwood?
Yeah, we're considering this as one fire. Certainly at the head of a fire, the forward area of a fire will throw embers and debris far ahead. So the head of the fire can throw spot fires. So you can see ignitions in different locations, but those are all related to the main fire, yes.
How and when will people learn if their structures, if their homes are still standing?
Right, so an inventory of damaged and destroyed structures will need to be done in the coming days. This may take some time. We'll organize that through the regional municipality and the province of Nova Scotia to inform the property owners as soon as we can.
You said 10 structures. Is that a conservative estimate right now? Is that
Right,
expected
so
to be a lot higher?
yeah, we certainly don't know the number now. Yes, I would suggest that the number is likely to be higher than 10.
Can you talk about which streets specifically in these subdivisions are most affected? Do you know that?
I don't really know that. The firefighters on the line have been on virtually all streets, and damage to the streets it's not consistent. And this is normal in a wildland interface fire. You can have homes on a street that are perfectly fine, and those homes on a street that are perfectly fine can be in close proximity to others that are damaged or destroyed. So I couldn't give you a rundown by street right now.
Can you talk about how historical this fire is in terms of, you said it hasn't been in recent memory. Can you talk about how big this is compared to what we've seen in the past 10, 20 years?
Yeah, this is a big fire. This is a big fire. Most folks will remember the fire in the Herring Cove area in 2009. That was a pretty large fire, and by memory I think we evacuated about 5,000 people. We don't know the size of this fire yet. That's one of the things that DNR crews will do when they fly the perimeter. They'll get an estimate of how big the burned area is. Estimates coming out of our emergency operations center last night for the evacuation area included an evacuation of approximately 14,000 people.
Did anybody have to be rescued, and what was that rescue like?
We certainly have reports from some of our firefighters that there were rescues, persons who required assistance or were unaware that an evacuation was underway. Obviously, the way the firefighters are coming and going, there's a lot of firefighter experiences that happened, and those people are back in the woods or they're back home trying to get some rest to come back in.
Do you expect that crews will be deployed from other neighboring provinces to come kind of between this?
We haven't contemplated that yet. We've been really, really grateful for the help we're getting from other Nova Scotia fire departments and other first responder agencies. But this is absolutely a significant challenge for us. While we deploy hundreds of people to this fire, we're also maintaining fire protection in all the other districts of the Halifax Regional Municipality.
Where are the air apparatus, the DNR helicopters, as well as the air tankers? Where are they scooping their water from to bring here?
Yeah, I don't know that.
There were horses freed, reports of horses freed. Do you have any update on them or other livestock?
No, we don't know where the horses are in the moment. Again, the firefighters are really focusing on protecting the structures.
When you first, the initial fire, did it start, are you able to tell if it started like in the backyard, like a camp, like somebody having a small campfire, or was it in the woods?
All that will form part of the investigation, and that will come out with the investigation report.
Can you talk about where the fire is now? Like how far from us is the fire at this moment?
Well, if you pull out your phone and you look for Hammonds Plains Road in that direction, you've got a lot of fire between between here and there, and damage to in the Yankeetown Road area on Hammonds Plains Road. And again, if you go north to Pockwalk, the fire is all in the woods from pretty much where we're at, give or take a couple of kilometers, right up to Pockwalk.
So that area that it sort of burned through last night, that's kind of all still on fire, is that?
Certainly, there's smoldering. So at 6 o'clock this morning, drone footage was showing a lot of heat coming up. So it's morning, the woods are starting to heat up. You're seeing steam and smoke product and some active burning, yeah.
Is this time of year and perhaps climate change playing any kind of a role in the worst wildfire in recorded history?
Well, yeah, for sure. So this time of year is important. So this is a spring fire. You know, firefighters always hope to get through spring. We come out of winter and the ground cover is dry, it's brown, the vegetation hasn't taken on much hydration. When the green up happens, when everything's nice and green, then the spread of fire is much slower than it was earlier in the spring. This is a spring fire. Without a doubt, you know, we believe that climate change contributes to volatility. We're seeing a lot of volatility in weather. We're seeing more severe storms than we've seen before. Winds are very important to us. We're seeing wind action that you know, exacerbates fires, and certainly long dry spells are becoming more common in many regions.
I've seen reports of people losing pets. Can you talk a bit about that? Has there been some losses of animals?
Yeah, I don't have hard data on losses of animals and pets. We have certainly encouraged everyone who's evacuating to take their pets with them for that very reason.
If people still want to get their pets from their home, is there any way to do that?
There's no entry into the evacuated area today, and there may likely not be any entry for some time. So folks with those special concerns should ring up to 911 and we'll see what we can do as conditions permit.
How many hectares is the fire now, and what do you foresee it going to?
So I don't know how many hectares. Again, I'm anticipating DNRR will fly the perimeter. This is what they typically do, and they measure the size of the fire. So we haven't got that data yet. How big will it get? Well, I hope it won't get any bigger than it is now.
What do you consider some of the biggest victories in the past 24 hours from this fire?
You see the firefighters behind me, and they're coming here to rehab. So they've been up in the field, and they've been working hard in these locations. And the victories are when they made a choice to protect a property, and it worked. And for them, the point of pride is in doing that, and they also suffer the emotion of when they try their very best and conditions that are just untenable for structural firefighters force them to leave. So both have happened. They've saved buildings, they've saved property over the last couple of days, and other properties have been lost to fire.
So how long at a time were they out fighting the fire, and how long did they get a rest for?
Yesterday their shifts were longer than we like, so there were firefighters out on the line pretty much from 3:30-ish, 4 o'clock in the afternoon as they were rolling in, and they were out there until, you know, close to midnight. And that's not our preference. We like firefighters to work for 4 hours. We bring them in, make sure that they get nutrition, hydration, and a little bit of rest, and we put them out for another cycle.
Can you describe how the fire spread? Obviously it was windy. I mean, did embers fly long distances and then, you know, other structures far away catch, or did the fire burn all the way from where, you know, you were first called to, you know, Yankeetown Road, which is quite a distance?
Yes, it is. Well, what I can say is, in general, this is how fires do spread, both ways. Direct spread, when you have crowning fire in the tops of the trees, it's a very intense fire, it will move quickly through forests and through neighborhoods. But in addition, as indicated before, at the front or the head of the fire, flaming embers will go up into the air and they'll project out hundreds of meters. They'll land, and they can land in the woods and start another fire. They can land in a community. They can land in a backyard. So you'll get that continuous head of the fire that's moving, but also in front of it you'll have spot fires being created by falling embers.
How tall were the flames?
I'm told by the firefighters who were there that they were crowning in the trees. You can see the trees here are often 40 feet or better high. In some instances they had crowning fire.
Any idea of what the long-term damage will be from this? Indications of what that would be?
No, that would certainly be speculative right now. We just know it'll be significant for sure, and we have a lot of thoughts for the folks whose properties right now are destroyed or in peril.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I beg your pardon?
When's the next one? When are you going to give us another update?
We'll get a media release out from our corporate comms folks and let you know when the next one will be, perhaps this evening.
So can you remind me how many firefighters are working today?
Today we have approximately 100 firefighters and 30 fire vehicles.
Do you have the resources you need, or what are you asking for?
We have what we need. We certainly are looking forward to seeing the impact that the air tankers make as they get to this scene here.
Just to recap, when do you think people, will be able to come back to their community to see whether they have a home, to see what's left?
I can't say when. I will say it's going to take some time, okay? These fires don't simply extinguish today and you're done. There's significant work that's required to come in and dig any hidden fires out, make sure there's no smoldering fire that's going to reignite. Traditionally, we want to get hose lines around the entire perimeter of a fire. This is going to take some time.
I just want to make sure.
Worse or better than yesterday?
Today is a little cooler. I haven't yet seen if the humidity is better, but we have some gusty winds, and those are a concern.
So just want to make sure I got the number correctly. Did you say 14,000 people were evacuated?
Approximately 14,000 people were in the evacuation area, yes.
Have you figured out where those bombers that are coming in from Newfoundland, have you already figured out where you want those to be? What are they targeting first?
Yeah, well, they do that. So this is not for Halifax Fire. We don't operate them. We don't really have aircraft that come in front of them, and they have radio communications with the DNR firefighters on the ground. So they get their refill locations and their target locations sorted out quite quickly.
Final message to the general public about.
Absolutely, thank you. So a couple messages. First and foremost, to the residents. We are concerned for you in this time of loss, and know that we are doing everything that we can do to mitigate this emergency in the best way possible. If you're evacuated, stay safe and stay out of the evacuation zone. If you're not here, don't come here. This is not a safe place. There is active fire here. There is smoke obscuring the roads. So this is not a place to visit. Please don't come here to see what's going on. All residents across our municipality, and I suggest across the province this week, there's no forecast rain. This is the time for all of us to work.
I have one quick question. For those people who are disregarding the burn bans, there were quite a few fires that were in backyards overnight and yesterday, even though we're in the red zone. Are fines being issued during this time? Are punishments being reflective of the seriousness of the scene right now?
Well, I agree with you about the seriousness of it. I don't have the information yet if fines are being levied, but certainly the bylaw is a bylaw, and it is punishable for those who violate it. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Thanks very much, folks.
Thank you so much.